It's called the Bodhisattva response to the coronavirus from Jack Kornfield. Now, do you know what a Bodhisattva is? So a Bodhisattva is one of us on our way to Buddhahood. And I'm privileged to know a lot of what I would call Bodhisattvas, you know. And so Jack says, and I'm going to read it. It's hopefully bear with me. Jack says, "Dear friends, we have a choice. Epidemics, like earthquakes and tornadoes and floods, are part of the cycle of life on planet Earth. How will we respond? With greed, hatred, fear, and ignorance? This only brings more suffering. Or with generosity, clarity, steadiness, and love? This is the time for love. Time for Bodhisattvas. In Buddhist teachings, the Bodhisattva is someone who vows to alleviate suffering and brings blessings in every circumstance. A Bodhisattva chooses to live with dignity and courage and radiates compassion for all, no matter where they find themselves. This is not a metaphor," he says. As Bodhisattvas, we are now asked to hold a certain measure of the tragedy of the world and respond with love. The Bodhisattva path is in front of us. The beautiful thing is, we can see Bodhisattvas all around. We see them singing from their balconies to those shut inside. We see them in young neighbors caring for the elders nearby, in our brave healthcare workers, and the unheralded ones who stock the shelves of the grocery store. What can I do? What can we do? He says. This is, again, just to remind you, Jack Kornfield wrote this, and I'm just reading it. What can I do? What can we do? In this moment, we can sit quietly, take a deep breath, and acknowledge our fear and apprehension, our uncertainty and helplessness, and hold all these feelings with a compassionate heart. We can say to our feelings and uncertainty, "Thank you for trying to protect me, and I'm okay for now." We can put our fears in the lap of Buddha, or Mother Mary, or Kuan Yin. Place them in the hearts of the generations of brave physicians and scientists who tended the world in former epidemics. When we do, we can feel ourselves part of something greater, of generations of survivors in the vast web of history and life. When we do, we can feel ourselves part of something greater, of generations of survivors in the vast web of history and life, being carried, as the Ojibwan elders say, by the great winds across the sky. This is a time of mystery and uncertainty. Take a breath. The veils of separation are parting, and the reality of interconnection is apparent to everyone on earth. We have needed this pause, perhaps even needed our isolation to see how much we need one another. Now it is time to add our part. The Bodhisattva deliberately turns toward suffering to serve and help those around in whatever way they can. We know how to do this. Time to renew our vow. Sit quietly again and ask your heart, what is my best intention, my most noble aspiration for this difficult time? Your heart will answer. Let this vow become your North Star. Whenever you feel lost, remember, and it will remind you of what matters. It is time to be the medicine. It is time to be the medicine, the uplifting music, the lamp in the darkness. Burst out with love. Be a carrier of hope. If there's a funeral, send off a song. Trust your dignity and goodness. Where others hoard, help. Where others deceive, stand up for truth. Where others are overwhelmed or uncaring, be kind and respectful. When you worry about your parents, your children, your beloveds, let your heart open to share in everyone's care for their parents, their children, and their loved ones. This is the great heart of compassion. The Bodhisattva directs compassion towards everyone. Those who are suffering and vulnerable, and those who are causing suffering. We are in this together. It is time to reimagine a new world, to envision sharing our common humanity, to envision how we can live in the deepest, most beautiful way possible. Coming through this difficulty, what we intend and nurture, we can do. In the end, remember, who you are is timeless. Timeless awareness, the consciousness that is born into your body. You are born a child of the Spirit, and even now you can turn towards the awareness and become the loving awareness that witnesses yourself reading and feeling and reflecting. When a baby is born, our first response is love. When a dear one dies, the hand we hold is a gesture of love. Timeless love and awareness are who you are. Trust it. Dear Bodhisattvas, the world awaits your compassionate heart. Let's join in this great task together with metta. Jack Kornfield. Beautiful, eh? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So here we are, you guys. Another day done. I hope you wake up tomorrow feeling good and grateful. Yeah, thanks, Ginny. Good and grateful. And my reminder always is to get, to call people and say hello. Just check in on them. Tell them you love them. Tell them you're thinking of them. And, reach out that way. Sometimes it's not easy for us to get out and go anywhere to help anybody, but we can reach out with our love and our prayers. And the time we spend in meditation heals the world, heals ourselves, and as we heal ourselves, we heal others. So that's it. Thanks for listening. Little Jack Kornfield late at night. I think it's time for bed. I feel a little sniffle. Isn't it? Every little sniffle, the mind goes, oh my gosh, what is that? Yes. Be well. Love you. Tell somebody you love them tomorrow or even tonight. Text them. Say, I love you. Okay. Share the love. It's endless. It's endless. Thank you. Good night. Okay. Cheers, you guys.